Hey guys, it's Telle from The Word Alive, and you're watching punkvideosrock.com.
Hey guys, Robert Herrera here with punkvideosrock.com. We're hanging out outside of Chain Reaction with Telle of The Word Alive. How's it going, bud?
Pretty good, man.
I've heard this tour's been pretty rough for you guys. What's been going on?
Well, we've had one band, the engine seized, left it in Texas, toured in a U-Haul for a little while and a rented van. Bought another van from our friends who used to be in a band, Sky's Airplane.
Okay.
That van has since blown 3 separate transmissions.
Wow.
As well as an alternator dying. And that van got left in Ohio, where I'm from. And then we took a U-Haul from Ohio to Denver, Colorado, pretty much.
Wow.
That was pretty brutal. And then we were fortunate enough in Salt Lake City, some friends of ours and a band, Fire from the Skies, heard about all of our misfortunes, and they came to the show, and that little bus thing that's back there, you probably can't see in the video, but the owner of it, his name is Mark, he plays bass in that band.
Okay.
He was like, I've heard, seen all your guys' tweets, he's like, I want to help you guys out.
Wow,
and
that's
he's
awesome,
like,
dude.
I want to take you for the rest of your tour. He's like, I'll drive you for the rest of the tour.
Wow.
You can sleep. You don't have to worry about anything. I'll take care of everything, and you don't got to pay me. Just obviously like to eat and just to get from there all the way back around. He's gonna drop the guys off in Arizona tomorrow morning. I live here, so I'm done.
I'm done out
traveling.
Here now?
Yeah.
Okay, nice.
And so we made it. We missed one show the entire tour, even though it took us 9 different vehicles.
Are you serious?
To get to this point, but
that's insane.
I think we did pretty good.
That's insane. That's a road dog right there.
Yeah.
How did you guys do about with sleeping and stuff with the U-Haul?
It was pretty brutal, especially the last few nights. Me, Zach, and Daniel slept in the back of the U-Haul, and it was freezing cold.
That's insane.
One of the nights it was just so cold. We were all bundled up in blankets, pretty much spooning each other, and still could not feel our feet. It was so cold. So we had to stop and get a hotel in the middle of the night. Yeah. And from that point of the tour on, all the drives were no less than I think 7-8 hours.
Okay.
For the last week plus of tours. So, it was far drives. You got to drive. Yeah. So we drive as far as we could with until it was okay, we're freezing, we can't go anymore.
That's crazy.
And it's cold, so everybody's trying not to get sick and take care of themselves. And we've been fortunate enough. We've had some people in our crew get really, really sick, but nobody in the band has gotten too bad. Yeah. And so
you guys made it to the end of the tour. And
we made it to the end of the tour, and that's
crazy.
What it's all about.
That's a story right there for you.
Oh, definitely. We're not gonna forget this. Our first ever headlining tour. We've been through
a good
hell
welcome.
And back, but I feel it's we made it through this. So it's if we can make it through this, our first headlining tour, then I feel like we can make it, through anything we need to. So.
Yeah. You guys have been touring a lot for Deceiver.
Yeah.
How much longer of a run will you guys be doing before a new record?
We are gonna be putting out some new music here very soon. Not for a new album, but for something else, and a lot of other awesome new things we can't talk about yet. But when our Facebook hits 115,000 likes, we're releasing 2 clips of 2 brand new songs that are going to be out, one of which, depending on which the fans like more, will play on Warped Tour this summer. Tentatively, we're scheduled to start our new record in the studio at January, February of 2012. So it'll be out.
Have you been able to do some kind of writing while on tour? Yeah.
We're a band that we always are writing. One day, we could just bust something out and be like, this is going to be rad. Yeah. And we'll sit on it for a while because we don't want to just push something. We want to make sure that a couple months into listening to it, we're still just as stoked. Yeah. Because then we know that our fans are going to be excited about it. Yeah. So that's what we did with these last 2 songs. We released songs that we were really happy with. We took into consideration a lot of what fans of ours have said they liked from our previous material, and I feel like we took it up a notch. And just, it's kind of a bridge to our new CD. Yeah. It's not showcasing all of our plans and all of our things that we're going to experiment with and try, but it's a glimpse at the fact that we didn't just write, one, semi-solid EP. We didn't just write one semi-solid CD and that's all we're capable of. We're showing that, like, we're not going to release a song that we're not stoked on.
Oh, that's good.
So I think everyone's going to be excited. Those songs are called Lights and Stones and then Apologician.
Okay.
Apologician is the heaviest song we've ever written. It has the least amount of singing out of any song. That's the first song that we've ever written where I wrote most of the lyrics first, and I showed it to Zach and Tony, and I was like, write the angriest song we've ever written, because that's what this song is. I mean, essentially, that song, it seems pretty harsh. It definitely has some of the most controversial and, I would say, pissed off lyrics that I've ever written, the band's ever had.
Did they catch you at a bad time?
Even more so than 2012, which a lot of people kind of freaked out about at first.
Yeah.
But I think in context, like, the way I like to write and the way that I'm growing, like, as I get older and older, is like seeing the world in a very realistic way. Like, I don't think that necessarily, you should sugarcoat things just for the sake of somebody being offended by, a swear word or something, that might be considered controversial.
Okay.
Like, it starts off and one of the first lines says, "You're going to hell." And the song is basically about a mixture of things. It's about people who judge, like, and they're just like, "Oh, you do this, so you're going to hell."
Yeah.
But then it's also like writing from that person's perspective too, which I'm liking to try, like, as, like, when I wrote, like, the song 2012, and that's an angry song. I wrote it after watching the movie Law Abiding Citizens. Or Citizen. And I wrote from his perspective, but how I think I would feel.
I see.
So,
what you're
like,
saying.
it's kind of like that. Like, I feel like that's another way to bring out creativity, is to put yourself in other people's shoes, sometimes in ones that make you uncomfortable. And so that's what I've tried to do with that song.
Well, it seems to be working good, because 2012, I keep hearing it's the most popular song.
It is. It's the #1 single off Deceiver. We released a video for it, and thankfully everybody's been pretty stoked on it. I think Apologician will be along the same way. It's very heavy, but it has a lot of cool synth parts, like 2012. Not like 2012, but in the same
Do you see
way.
a lot of your new material being similar to 2012 or
Not
harder?
necessarily. I think, like in our song, The Hounds of Anubis, we want to showcase that our guys can play guitar, our guys can play their instruments. We definitely are going to show that throughout those two songs. And, we want to show that we're just not a band that plays, bar chords and chug breakdowns. We have things, I think stand out in our genre, and we're going to always be that way. 2012 was the simplest song that we've written ever. And I think simple is what initially catches, but what we found throughout, even especially this headlining tour, is there's a lot of other songs on our record. We're playing 9 songs on this tour, and we're finding that a lot of kids are singing very loudly to some of the other songs
that you never thought.
And I feel it's the one, like, those fans who, like, read past what's simple and like actually listen to the music. Those are the fans we want anyways. And I feel like we write songs for them. And 2012 is, we wanted to write a heavy song that'd be fun to play live. And Apologician is kind of in that mindset. Lights and Stones is a more dynamic song. It has more of what you're used to from The Word Alive, I guess you could say. Like, it has cool guitar parts, it has, high, low, screaming, singing. I do stuff that I've never done.
Really?
These 2 songs are the first songs I pretty much recorded all of the vocals. Like all the high screams. Like, I had never really screamed high before on our previous records. And I've been working really hard to improve my live scream. Not just live scream, but just scream in general. I mean, because Zach has an amazing scream. He can scream really high, he can scream really low, and he compliments me very well, especially for playing the stuff he does on guitar. He is insane.
He's insane.
He is. And we don't want to take away from that. We just wanted to experiment and see what it would sound like and see how fans would react to kind of hearing more of my full potential. And you know, as our band continues to grow, all of us are going to continue to grow at our instruments. Zach wants to play crazier guitar parts, so that's going to mean
it's already crazy enough.
So that's going to mean that like I need to step it up with my vocals, and I need to be able to do things that are more dynamic and not necessarily rely on him to be doing some of the things that I can do, you know, or would like to. So I'm going to push myself, and I think these 2 songs show that. And yeah, I'm stoked in both the songs.
Have you guys tried these songs live by any chance, or
no, we haven't even played them in the same room yet.
Really?
That's kind of how we are into writing now. You know, Tony or Zach or both of them will be writing, we'll record it, we'll program drums. Justin will be like, I want this to be here, this to be there. Then Dusty comes in, Dusty adds his keyboard parts, then we get to the studio and the guys find out what I've
So in the studio, it's when everybody,
when the studio is the first time we all hear what the song is going to sound
That's
like.
hard.
So, but I like it that way. I think it's an element of surprise.
It's obviously working out for you guys.
Yeah, like we've tried writing a lot of different ways, together, separate, you know, kind of coming up with ideas, and certain songs are different. Like Zach and Tony sat down and wrote Apologician together. Lights and Stones, Tony just went on a rampage a couple tours ago, and I was sitting with him and I wrote the song right there, like the melody wise, not all the lyrics, and it just came out. So like that's just how we do. It's like we don't do based off of like who needs to write more or anything. It's we write songs we're all proud of, and whoever does that, and we're stoked. So I think everybody's gonna be excited about them.
Can't wait. I can't wait. This tour's over today.
Yes.
And you guys are hopping on a new tour in a couple of days.
Yeah, Europe.
Sorry.
Scream It Like You Mean It tour. Tour with We Came as Romans, Miss May I, us, and This or the Apocalypse.
How's the Europe scene for you guys?
This is going to be our first time, but we were in European publications before we were in the U.S. So we've had a lot of building up, and I feel like a lot of these shows are going to show that the UK and Europe have been wanting the Word Alive for a while. So I know we're all really excited.
So for some reason, I thought you guys had played out there before already.
A lot of people have, but I think it
seems so natural.
I think it's because we've toured constantly over the last 2.5-3 years, and I think a lot of people just kind of assume that we've been there because we do have a lot of European fans. So it kind of goes hand in hand, but we actually haven't.
That's insane.
So for Europe, we're going to play, since we've never been there before, we're going to play a mixture of old and new, as opposed to the States where they've heard old, they've heard new. We're going to play, you know, the songs we're pushing now, which is going to be almost all new songs. But in Europe, we're going to mix it up, play some songs off Empire. And then for Warped Tour, we're going to play... we're going to play our cover of Heartless for the first time. I think that'll be
so you guys still haven't touched that one?
We haven't yet, because what happened is we need... It sounds kind of weird, but we need different guitars than what we have. We recorded on different guitars for that song. We don't have literally the capabilities to play that song live right now. And we've just had so many other things that unfortunately were more important and had to be more of a priority financially and otherwise.
Yeah, exactly.
We haven't just been able to be like, all right, well, let's go buy all the equipment we need. Like we couldn't do that. So Warped Tour will be the first tour, I think, where we play that. We're also going to play one of these brand new songs for the first time ever. And then we're going to play 4 or 5 songs off Deceiver. You played Warped Tour last year. So what did you learn from your experience at Warped Tour last year that you'll do differently this year? I don't know that it's so much doing something differently as it is just a better and stronger mindset. Coming into it, we know we have more to prove. You know, last year we were on half. We were very thankful. We made every day count. This year, we need to prove that we were worthy of doing the full tour and coming back a year after we had just been on it. We're playing with undoubtedly the most competition our genre has ever had on a single Warped Tour. It's gonna be a tough one. Our stage and the main stage are both completely packed with bands from our genre, which is awesome for our music. You know, and I'm so happy that, you know, Kevin Lyman asked us back out, and that we could be a part of it and be a part of this movement that I think is happening with our music, as you've seen A Day to Remember and our friends in Asking Alexandria play, you know, on mainstream television recently. I think
it's going in a better direction for our scene right now.
I think it's going to open people's minds, and even if you don't like either of those bands, maybe you like us, maybe you don't like us. I still think it's good for all the bands, whether you like them or not. Like, I think it's good for the Devil Wears Prada. I think it's good for Attack Attack.
I think that's one thing. I think that's one thing that everybody's lacking. That it's like, you guys are musicians as well. You guys should get that spotlight. So.
And I think like it's good for everyone to not just shove one genre down people's faces and throats. Like, I mean, for me personally, like, I mean, my favorite band of all time is Brand New. So it's not like I don't like other kinds of music.
So do you have any last words you want to give out to your fans and our viewers?
I'll look you right in the eye and thank you for coming out to our headlining tour if you did, the Smart Punk Tour. Also, go to our Facebook, hit the like button. It's facebook.com/thewordalive. And just thank you for everything you guys have done. Hopefully you enjoy the new songs once you hear them. We have a lot more coming out. We'll be back soon.
Cool, man.